Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another one of my videos. I'm sorry I didn't post one yesterday or I think today. I was supposed to post more videos, but I was busy, I had a busy day today. But anyway, it's great that, at the end of the day, at least I have some time to answer your questions, and there are a lot of them. I casually posted some voiceover video tips, and I got such a great response from you guys that now I'm really motivated and I'm all enthusiastic to help you guys with your questions. So let's get down to yet another question of voiceovers and related to voiceovers. In case you guys have missed any of the previous videos, well, I have been posting, I think I've posted around 3 videos till now where I'm talking to you about my voiceover experience and journey and how it can help you, and just giving video tips. That's about it. So if you guys want to check out any of those videos, just go to my profile and check them out, or there are a bunch of Facebook groups where I'm posting as well. All right, let's get down to the questions. Kamudi Upadhyay has messaged me, and I think she's asked me 2 questions. So good, I'll be taking 2 questions. She said, Hi Ashish, it was a pleasure talking to you and to know that you are so friendly and warm. Well, thank you. That's just how I've always been. So my question would be, which USB mic do you suggest that doesn't pick up any unwanted sounds from the sides or the rear, especially when I can't go for soundproofing as I need to switch places after every 2 years? All right, so basically she's asked me 2 questions. She wants a mic which doesn't pick up a lot of sound, and she has said that she can't afford to do, or it's not practical for her to get her recording space at her home soundproofed. Now, this is a situation in which a lot of people are there, like, they are living in apartments, या ऐसा होता है कि जहां आप रह रहे हो वो building is quite noisy, or maybe there's a school nearby and there's a lot of noise coming, or maybe it's right on the main road. बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे होते हैं इनका घर ऐसा रहता है. तो what do you do to record voiceovers, and how do you manage all the sound that is coming? So many times, yeah, Delhi mein to there's so much construction that keeps happening. There is some people are modifying their house or making some furniture, कोई drilling या कोई ठुकाई वगैरह होती रहती है. तो what do you do in such circumstances? Now I think she had gotten like one of those USB mics which are condenser mics. So you guys have to understand that there are many kinds of microphones when it comes to voiceovers, all right? And there is no right or wrong. So different situation के लिए different mic use होता है, right? That is how you have to think of microphones. You have to think that in this situation, this mic will work. In that situation, that mic will work. And in this situation, this mic will work. I'll give you 3 examples, very good 3 examples. When you go to a stadium or when you go to a live performance, right, there is a huge stage and there is an audience and you're watching somebody sing, Arijit sing, or whoever sings. What happens is that these people are in an open environment, right? So the mic needs to be such that it only captures the sound of the vocalist, right? If the vocalist is here, right? And because there's a stage, there is so much ambient sound coming. Those are situations in which you cannot use a condenser microphone, right? So the kind of mics that people use on stage is, for the most part, something called a dynamic microphone, all right? There are different patterns of how these microphones pick up signals, and when you buy one, there is usually a pamphlet or a leaf where there's this cardioid pattern drawn, or different kinds of patterns which are drawn, जिससे आपको पता लगता है अच्छा अगर माइक आपने ऐसा होल्ड किया है तो वो कितने डिस्टेंस और कितने एरिया में साउंड पिकअप कर रहा है, राइट? It's a machine, it has limitations, right? So every product is made according to those limitations. If you have a dynamic microphone, it'll most probably just pick up the sound in the vicinity, right? For example, a good example for that is SM58, made by this company called Shure. There are different variations now. I think SM58A, B, I don't know, but basically the SM58 has been one of those legendary microphones which, oh my God, they've been around for so many years. There's actually a video on YouTube where a guy is driving his car over the SM58 and then uses it and it's fine. affordable. I wouldn't say it's cheap, but it's affordable, great value for money. It's an excellent beginner's microphone. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you a little bit of secret about myself. So many of my clients get voiceovers from me and they believe it's on some super expensive microphone, whereas actually I'm just using an SM58, man. I use an SM58 for around 60 to 70% of my recordings. All right. And trust me, a microphone is just a microphone. At the end of the day, a microphone is just a microphone. I'm recording this video on the latest iPhone. The latest iPhone doesn't have a microphone jack. I don't have anything pinned here. I'm just using the damn iPhone's microphone, right? And you can hear me nice and clear, right? I'm not even bothering to put up a extra microphone to record my voice. So it doesn't really matter what microphone you have. A lot of people, have this misconception that if they get a really expensive, like a Neumann or some really 1 or 2 lakh rupees microphone, it's going to make your voice sound different. That is the biggest joke ever. Doesn't matter. Okay, so anyway, I'm sorry, I'm digressing. Coming back to the dynamic microphone. So dynamic microphones are used where you don't want the microphone picking up the sound of the AC, the sound of your neighbor, the sound of the street dog, the sound of traffic in front of your house, right? That is when you use an SM58 microphone. Dynamic microphones. There's a whole category of microphones. There are a lot of brands, there are a lot of models that make dynamic microphones. Dynamic microphones are cheaper. The industry gold standard, there was a story like so many years back that Amitabh Bachchan carries his own SM58 microphone because he loves it so much. I love my SM58 so much. I am not Amitabh Bachchan, but I carry my SM58 everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. I swear to God. I love my SM58. When I'm traveling as a musician, as a singer, most studios have great microphones and they have that kind of a environment where really expensive microphones can work. But for the most part, live recordings and most of my studio recordings are happening on the SM58. It records beautifully. And trust me, to the untrained ear, if you hear anything recorded on a SM58 or anything recorded on one of the most expensive microphones, if your voice is good and if you've mixed it correctly and if you mastered it correctly, there's not going to be much difference. Honest to God, I'm not lying to you. Of course, it's a huge, huge difference when it comes to technology. And it's always better to use the best technology that you can afford, all right, when it comes to microphones or when it comes to, audio interfaces, or whether it comes to hardware of your computer, or whether it comes to the technology that you're using in terms of software or in terms of, the DAW, as they say. Go for the best one that you can afford. But the only thing that you really need to invest in is your talent as a voiceover artist. Okay, it's not about the equipment at the end of the day. Sorry, I keep digressing again. Coming back to the issue of the microphone. So those are dynamic microphones, and SM58 in India, the last time I checked, was something around 8,000 rupees. At one point of time, it was actually 4,000 rupees. Then धीरे-धीरे price बढ़ा, dollar बढ़ा, petrol के दाम बढ़े, और microphone के दाम भी बढ़ गए. So now it's, I think, 8, 9, even if it's 10,000, I won't be surprised. But trust me, if you are looking for a beginner microphone for your home setup, don't go for any of these fancy schmancy microphones. Go for a dynamic microphone. It is the best microphone that you can get, especially if you get an SM58. I'm a huge SM58 Shure fanboy. So I would most definitely recommend for those people who are looking for a good starter beginner microphone, go for that. As far as condenser microphones are concerned, I'll tell you what the thing is. Condenser microphones are far more refined, and I think the amount of frequency that they pick up is much greater. So they'll pick up more highs and more lows of your voice than, say, a dynamic microphone would, right? Also, they are mostly phantom powered, which means that the audio interface that you're using, the sound card, जैसे कच्ची language में लोग बोलते हैं, sound card or audio interface. Audio interface is basically a USB or a Firewire or a USB-C device that you plug into your computer, and then you plug in microphones into that device. All right. It has a preamp, which basically means you can control the input level of your signal, your voice signal, which is traveling through the microphone into the computer. And it is basically an interface. So, right. So what a USB mic does is it straight connects you to the computer. But this is like another device which costs anywhere between 5,000 to 15,000-20,000. Like that's the amount of money that you need to invest in a good audio interface. So, through the phantom power, it gets powered. Most of these condenser microphones, at least the good ones that I've been using. Now, technology is such that you can actually power it through a USB. All of that is fine, I don't know, but I'm a little old school when it comes to technology. So I would suggest invest in a good audio interface. M-Audio is a company which has some nice basic, products which you can get for very, very affordable, like, prices, like in the range of like 5,000 to 6,000, you can get a decent one. But I would suggest that you go for Sapphire Pro, is it? Sorry, so I would suggest that you go for Focusrite, right? Focusrite is a brand which is making great products. It's a little bit more expensive than M-Audio, but the quality is much better. So there are a bunch of audio interfaces, and the models keep getting outdated and new ones keep coming. But I think any good one from M-Audio or Focusrite or even the other brands, if you come across something nice and decent and the reviews are good, you can go for it. And most of these audio interfaces, all of them will support dynamic and condenser microphones. Now, what is the basic difference between dynamic and condenser microphones? A dynamic microphone has a very limited sort of space where it catches your signal, which means that if you are in a noisy environment, 9 out of 10 times you would prefer to have a dynamic microphone. Now, I'll give you my example. There was a time when I had a condenser microphone and my studio was not soundproofed. Also, I was living in a slightly noisy place in Pune where there was no reflection proofing, nothing done. I was just in a room and I had to record. I tried recording with a condenser microphone, and every time I used to send my sample to this guy, he used to say, "Bhaiya, ambient noise bahut aa raha hai." What the hell is he talking about? Much later, I realized that you have to have, things like this, like things like foam, which make sure that the only thing that's getting recorded is your sound going to the mic. It's not the sound hitting off the wall and coming back into the microphone, right? So when you have a condenser microphone, you have to have that kind of an infrastructure to be able to use that super sensitive, really good microphone. You have to have reflection proofing, aka foam pads like this, or any sound reflection proofing inside your room. And you also need to have soundproofing, which means जो बाहर की आवाज है वो अंदर नहीं आएगी और अंदर की बाहर नहीं जाएगी. So basically what that means is solid doors, like I don't know if you can, I'll show it to you. Soundproof doors, which are thick doors which completely lock, the sound from inside going outside and outside coming inside. So that way, you can record in peace. And अगर बाहर कुत्ता भौंक रहा है या पड़ोस वाली गुप्ता आंटी जोर जोर से बात कर रही हैं, that will not affect your recording. So if you're going for a condenser microphone, you need to have that kind of infrastructure. So if you're one of those people who doesn't have that kind of infrastructure, or if you're like Kamudi Upadhyay, who needs to travel every 2 years, I think her husband is in a traveling job, like a army person or something. So you don't need to actually invest in a condenser microphone. And if you do, like what I used to do was, I used to wait for the night so that sab kuch quiet ho jayega, and then I used to record. But then, like what do you do in a situation where you need to, give them a sound recording ASAP? What do you do in that situation, man? You can't wait for night time. You can't tell the sound engineer, yaar abhi mere pados mein kutte bhauk rahe hain, so main aapko raat mein record karke dunga. That's really stupid, right? And so that, and then there are other microphones, like for example, there are handheld recorders. Like Zoom is a company which makes a ton of really good handheld recorders. I'm looking around because I'm trying to wonder if there's one around me kept, so I can just show it to you. But if you watch any of my YouTube videos on my YouTube channel, it's called Voice Ninja. You'll realize that there is this microphone that Akash, Maithal and me use for this show that we do called Khabrahat. So we just keep it there and it records everything, So it's a microphone which is a small form factor, you use it for outdoor, for YouTube interviews, or if you're interviewing somebody on the road or in a noisy place, or if you're just trying to record like a live concert. So, that mic is made for those situations, right? So different mics are for different situations and they come in different price points. So I hope I answered your question. Which USB microphone would I recommend? See, I would not recommend a USB microphone. One, because I don't know too much about the technology. And two, I believe that if you have the proper hardware in place, because this is technology that's been used for a very long period of time, and all professional voiceover artists need to get that gear. Even if it costs you a little more money, trust me, it is much more reliable than, maybe USB technology is reliable. I'm not one of those people who believes in it. You want to try it out, you can, but I'm not very familiar with it either. I would recommend that you get yourself an audio interface and you get yourself a dynamic microphone. That is what you need, and that is what you should get. Don't bother with USB. And then she also says, what else does she say? Based on my research, I got the Audio Technica ATR 2100. Okay. No idea about the microphone because I'm not into USB microphones. So anyway, I hope I answered that question, regarding the problem where people can't afford soundproofing and reflection proofing, and they want to go in for a microphone. If any of you guys have had experience with dynamic USB microphones, I don't know if, I guess there must be. So please write it down in the comments below so that, Kamudi Upadhyay can read it and get help from it. Well, that was it. I'm sorry if I spoke a little too much, but I think most of it was useful to you. At least I hope it was. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought of this video in the comments below. And as usual, if there is any question that you have, also write it down in the comments and I shall try to answer it as soon as possible. All the best of luck for your voiceover journey, and I shall see you in the next video. Take care.